what is a challenge now, and it's a challenge because of the competition in space, but also because of the bacteria, is the invasive or the exotic species that's known as Barbary sheep, or also known as Aoudad. They occur in every mountain in West Texas, and particularly in those mountain ranges that are considered historical Bighorn range. There's Aoudad in those mountain ranges, and recent research has demonstrated, and we have detected that bacteria, that MOV bacteria, in Aoudad that we've sampled. Ironically, it was Texas Parks and Wildlife that brought them in the 50s, and they brought them in as an additional game species for public hunting opportunities. And although it was Parks and Wildlife that brought them in, I don't think anybody envisioned that the Aoudad would do as well as they have. So Parks and Wildlife had their hand in that, but also there were also some private landowner stalkings and releases, and so the combination of those two and the Aoudad's ability to thrive in West Texas, I guess is a problem we currently face. And it seems like they thrive in well, not just the Trans-Pecos, but they thrive just about anywhere they go, because you'll see them up in the Caprock, in the Panhandle of Texas. They're doing quite well there. They do well in the Texas Hill Country. They're doing well there. So, and the West Texas landscape, Panhandle landscape, and the Hill Country landscape considerably different, but yet the animal is doing quite well in all three landscapes. I don't think anybody envisioned that they would do as well as they have, but they really have thrived. There was a time where we would say that the Aoudad were a potential disease risk, and so we figured they were, but we didn't definitively know, and so we started looking into that. And in several places, we would remove Aoudad, collect those tissue samples, and then submit them to the lab. And we have detected that MOV bacteria in some of those Aoudad from which we've collected samples, we've detected that MOV bacteria. And so that poses a grave risk, a grave disease transmission risk, because we have sampled 13 mountain ranges within historical bighorn habitat. And granted, not all those mountain ranges have bighorns on them, but they're bighorn habitat nonetheless. So we've collected tissue samples from Aoudad, from those 13 mountain ranges, and every mountain range where we've sampled Aoudad, we have detected that MOE bacteria. So we've got that issue, disease transmission issue. So when we look at the potential release site, that has to be one of the things that's considered, that goes into the equation. What is being done about the Aoudad density or Aoudad population within a given mountain range? And we have areas where we do that on our own properties. We lethally remove Aoudad that are on Texas Parks and Wildlife property, and we have what's called a zero tolerance for Aoudad, and so we try and remove as many as we can and keep them at the lowest level possible on Texas Parks and Wildlife property. We've got agreements with landowners that allow us to do that. When it flies bighorn surveys, they allow us to aerial gun and remove Aoudad from those properties. But there's properties that allow us to do that, and they have restrictions. In other words, they say shoot the ewes and the lambs, don't shoot big rams, because they hunt the big rams, and so there's supplemental income for those landowners, and so they tell us to do that. So there's things being done to keep the Aoudad population densities or numbers in check. But the fact is, there's way too many Aoudad, and there's lots of properties that that nothing's being done, and so we're essentially fighting an uphill battle.